there. 25 years ago, I was stopped by the police while driving in Moscow. 25 years ago. Now, I'm planning to be 29 on my next birthday, so I was only about 3 or 4 back then. Do the math. It's simple. Maybe that explains why they stopped me. Believe it or not, I was leading the team that proposed Russia's first credit card system. My client generously asked if I wanted to use her car while she was on vacation. And that was a no-brainer for me. In college, I worked for a Brooklyn car service, so driving a beat-up old wreck was no big deal. Hers wasn't exactly that. It was almost brand new. Sweet. She said I would get stopped, so keep a $100 bill inside my passport. I've encountered the police a few times in my life. See our last video. Still, I understood that seeing the inside of a Russian jail would not make my day. No, it would not. There were very few cars in Moscow at the time. Interestingly, government limos in the evening took over the main road from the Kremlin. They drove right down the middle of Tverskaya, having the police block all the cross streets. Private cars were often old Ladas, and many of them were broken down on the road with their hoods up and the drivers working inside. A new car stood out, and it felt like the one I was driving just screamed, "Rich American here." I was staying at the Mezh du Narodnaya, the Mezh for short. Now it's a Crown Plaza. Then it was a hotel for foreigners, a magnet for the police, just like the car was. Now, when you encounter the law, you don't want to do something incredibly stupid like mouthing off, or even worse, fighting. You do not want to be on the losing end of anything that might happen. When you're anywhere, people have their own history, their issues, their morals. You know, they may be having a good or a bad day. They might get triggered by what you say or do, or simply who you are. It's unrealistic to expect that everyone, that anyone will act perfectly, And that includes uniformed police. Cut them some slack, especially when you're in a crowd filming them, taunting them as they do what is not easy to do, That day, one of the officers who stopped me certainly caught my attention. He pointed an AK-47 right at my head. My hands froze on the steering wheel. I forgot every word of Russian that I knew. Not that I knew many. I handed my passport over. It came back a little bit lighter, as you'd expect. You know, a gun's muzzle, is it a rifle? Well, it's about 3 feet across at close range. And I'm speaking from personal experience here. I'm not going to excuse those officers, but, and there's always a but, the Second World War hammered the Soviet Union a lot more than it did the US. The siege of Leningrad, which is back to its name of St. Petersburg, lasted 2.5 years and cost between 1.5 and 3 million deaths. 3 million. The Battle of Stalingrad, now Volgograd, was the bloodiest conflict in human history. There was some 2 million casualties. All told, Russia suffered something like 30 million deaths in those 5 years. 30 million. To weigh down the after-the-war recovery even more, there was communism. The Soviets joked that the government pretended to pay them, and so they pretended to work in return. That illustrates how the system failed the country, the people, and it nourished corruption. By the way, corruption is found in a lot of places. So is competence, honesty, and compassion. On another day, actually a very cold night, a different officer slung his AK-47 over his shoulder to give me a tour. That's our next video. Another, by the way, our last video had that some 50 U.S. police officers are murdered each year. It's worse than that. Just in the first 3 months of 2021, 103 officers have died in the line of duty. 55 of them from COVID-19. God rest their souls. They work to keep us safe. They should be looked up to. They should be honored. And you know I'm right without my saying the vast majority of police. Enough of that already, huh? And now some shout outs to Nicolo and Donna and Marina and Anna. Thank you all. I am Mike for the Be More Better team. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate. Please comment, subscribe, all the rest. But always, always be more better. Body, mind, and spirit. And then be even more so when you remind people that the police are human trying to do something really, really hard. Give them a chance. God bless all those who sacrifice for us, especially those who have sacrificed it all. God bless them. Until the next time. Bye now. Thank you.